right. Welcome, everyone, to the January 11th meeting of the Cable Television Advisory Board. We'll start off with attendance. Andrew Sinode is here. Dorothy Clark. I believe Mr. Cardignone sent a representative. Richard Ferenkopf. Brian Garrity. Here. Ken Gidge. Sally Highland.
Here.
Ed Lecious. Here. Jennifer McCormick. And Brian Rhodes. Here. All right. And Alderman Jetty just joined us. Here. Good timing. All right. We'll start off with, well, there are no members of the public here. So moving on, is there a motion with regard to minutes from previous meetings?
I apologize. I have still not got back the minutes yet, so I'll have to present them next month.
All right, thank you. So I guess would it be a motion to table the minutes from previous meetings? This motion?
Move to table.
I'll take that as a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, motion passes. All right, written communications. I think Mr. Painter, would you like to start us off?
Surely. All right, our current balance of, current balance of the operating account 2505 is $650,975. Our expenses for December of 2018, including salaries and facility operations, totaled $21,952. Operations are, we had 1,192 cablecast total in December, and of this, 18 were live, and this broke down to Education 99.8 and Government 16.10. We had 1,174 playbacks, and this broke down to Public 96.597, Education 99.364, and Government 16.213. We're still waiting for the outcome on the vote for the FCC. In December, they did not take up the vote as far as the rule change that we were speaking about last month, and now they're part of this shutdown with the government, so they're not going to be taking any action as of this point. So we're just going to have to sit tight and wait for that. Excuse me. Now, equipment funds approval, hopefully. Over the past several months, we have been having great difficulties with our switching system in the auditorium. It's been in the shop several times, and it's currently out for repair once again. Now, as the switcher is out of warranty, we've concluded that we need a new switcher by a different company. And because our broadcast PIC system has worked flawlessly for almost 10 years now in the automatic chamber, we're looking to replace the auditorium switcher with an updated version of that switcher. But we also are looking at other switches, so we haven't come up with a final, we want to make sure that we go through all the choices we have for different switching systems. But it does look like the broadcast PICS is in first place right now because it's the updated version of what we have that we're covering right now in here, and that's been there for almost 10 years, and it's been flawless. So the new version seems to be a really good deal. And anyway, the thing is with the switcher, of course, all the production elements switch into the switcher, so that's the most expensive piece of the whole system. And so we are asking for an amount not to exceed $12,000 for the new switcher. Pete?
All right. Do you want to take that up now or later?
No, that would be new business.
Okay. All right. As far as the education channel is concerned, for the month of December, we were pretty busy with concerts in the schools. You can see there we were at New Searles. We did Fairgrounds Chorus here at City Hall with the tree trimming. Sunset Heights, Pennachuck, Nashua South Santa Fun Concert, Elm Street Middle School, Nashua North, and also at Ledge Street Elementary were the schools that were visited this year for their winter / Christmas concerts. Then at the end of the month, we started back up with some winter sports. Thanks to folks at Bedford Community TV, we were able to piggyback on their live coverage of the BG at Bedford boys basketball game. Then on the 27th, 28th, and 29th, we had the Chick-fil-A basketball tournament. That's a boys and girls tournament here in Nashua. And over the 3 days, we did 10 basketball games. So guys were a little busy that week. So, and that's it for my report. And I don't know if you want me to read a little bit of Access Nashua. I'm not going to go through
I
it.
just passed it out to everybody, so I thought.
I'm not going to go
maybe
through the
just-
whole thing, but I'll get to the meat of it if you want.
Yeah,
So.
if you could summarize for us.
Sure. Mentioned that December is typically a slow month with the holidays. That being said, they were still able to produce 31 in-studio shows during the month of December. They did want to mention that they were involved in the program Celebrate Nashua. That was produced by Yvonne Dunitz. And they're looking forward to an exciting 2019, and that was submitted by Dick Gagnon, Operations Manager for Access Nashua.
All right, thank you. Is there a motion with regard to the financial statements, PEG Manager's report, and Access Nashua report?
Move to accept the financial statements, the PEG Manager's report, and the Access Nashua report as presented.
All right, any discussion of the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. All right, Mr. Leishus, do you have anything for us?
The Education Committee will be resuming our meeting schedule this coming Tuesday. Our last Eye on Education program featured the 3 students from South who were the primary students involved in the Meals Matter program. And we will be setting the agenda for upcoming meetings, or upcoming presentations at our meeting on Tuesday.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Mr. Leishus? All right. Moving on, there is no old business, new business. Mr. Painter, well, first, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to grant approval of the request for the purchase of a new switcher for the City Hall auditorium at a price not to exceed $12,000.
All right, there's a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Everything's connected, the graphics are connected to it. Well, we don't actually in that room have audio connected, that's separate, but all 4 cameras are connected to it as well. So it switches back and forth to whoever's speaking, we go to that camera and it controls it.
All right. Was this equipment replaced as part of the auditorium upgrades 4 years ago?
Yes, it was.
All right, so.
Yeah, so this did not.
We're definitely going to go with a different manufacturer
Yes,
then.
absolutely. That's why. Like I said, we haven't made a final decision because there's a couple of other switches we want to be looking at, a couple of other companies that we've dealt with before and had good luck. But Broadcast Pix is what we use here for this room. And for 10 years, it's been flawless. I mean, literally. And I just went to a workshop yesterday with what this would be. It's the upgraded version of what we have. And it really is good. And, you know, people that were there either had the 100 that we've got in here and they're about to upgrade, or they've already upgraded and they wanted to learn more about the switcher, and everybody was happy. So that was what I wanted to find out yesterday.
Thank you.
All right, Alderman.
So, do we have this money, or is
Yes.
this already in our
Yes, we
budget, and we don't have to go elsewhere to get it?
No, this will be in our budget. It is within our budget.
Yeah.
So we're good.
All right, any other questions, comments? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. All right, we're back to comments from the public who are not here. Remarks by members. Does anyone have any remarks that they'd like to make? I actually did want to mention something, and it relates to the discussion we had last month regarding the FCC rule change. And It's not specific to that, but just kind of a general reminder as far as the nature of our committee. Well, the Board of Aldermen and the mayor have delegated certain tasks to us that are not strictly speaking advisory. I just wanted to remind us that our role is to advise the Board of Aldermen and the mayor on issues relating to cable television, not necessarily to make policy statements ourselves. So in instances where the administration has already made a decision and has already spoken up, there was some discussion about this committee making a separate statement with regard to the FCC rule change. As I say, our role is to advise the city, the mayor and the Board of Aldermen, and not necessarily to make policy statements ourselves or to go outside of that role other than in our support of them. So I just wanted to kind of remind everyone as far as what that role is. And I realized that over the years, other tasks have been delegated to us, so we have a little bit more of an administrative or policy decision-making role, particularly with regard to the education, public, and government access channels. But it's kind of important to remember the advisory part of our title. So that's my comment. Anyone else? Mr. Johnson.
I did want to mention, since the agenda was put out, the Alliance for Community Media, which is an organization that we belong to, is going to be sending their president to the New England states on President's Week. And they're going to be having meetings in each state to discuss both the FCC, what's going on at the FCC, and also potential thing going on in front of the Supreme Court right now. So that's going to be held in Derry. I believe it's on Thursday, the 21st. I don't know the time, but we'll have one more meeting before that. But if anyone wants to put it in their calendar, you do have to RSVP that you're going to go. So just letting you know now.
All right. Any other remarks, Alderman?
I apologize for not being here last month, and we don't have any minutes available yet, so would it be out of order for me to ask you to explain what you just talked about, since I wasn't here to hear that?
Certainly. For those that are not familiar with it, we had a discussion last week with regard to a proposed FCC rule change, the end of the comment period being actually the day of our meeting. And there was discussion amongst the committee whether we could actually generate a public comment for submission that day. And it was my position we didn't have time to do that, but I realized that I didn't actually explain why I thought we didn't have time to go through proper channels, which would, and I'd also note that at that time, the city had already submitted, I believe, 2 public comments on the same proposed rule change, independently of this committee.
And when you say the city submitted it,
The administration through the IT department.
okay,
So,
thank you.
all right. Anything else? If not, is there a final motion?
Move adjourn?
Motion to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. See everyone next month.
Thank you.